Welcome to the School of Education at Baylor University.
Here at Baylor, we are preparing leaders,
impacting the world,
and shaping the future.
For over 100 years, we have been equipping and training leaders to serve in and out of classrooms as teachers, superintendents, psychologists, health education professionals, academics, scholars, and more. The Baylor School of Education offers 14 different majors as well as 6 minors and concentrations in education. With more than 50 full-time faculty members, the school's growing research portfolio complements its long-standing tradition to excellence in teaching and student mentorship.
Our spaces are designed to support creative lesson plan development. Classrooms, like the Mathematics Education Lab, aim to improve teaching and learning and student improvements.
Students spend 5 to 6 semesters teaching in local schools. Hands-on training prepares them for the teaching profession.
The Learning Resource Center provides activity kits, teacher guidebooks, textbooks, periodicals, and more to help with lesson planning and support our curriculum.
The Impact Living Learning Center is a residence hall steps away from your classes in the School of Education. Here in Impact, you get to live in a community focused on addressing the world's issues through education. Plus, you get access to a fitness room, a game room, the Learning Resource Express, and community building activities. I also love that there's always free food and coffee around.
The Baylor School of Education awards more than $650,000 in scholarships to undergraduate students each year. We also provide opportunities for you to grow and develop as a leader on our Student Advisory Council. You can learn more about these programs or apply today on our website. We hope to see you soon in Sic 'em Bears.
Say good morning. Good morning. I still didn't hear you. One more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is a very interactive session. I am excited that you're here. Before we get started, we have the Assistant Dean, Dr. Joel Porter, and he is going to share a few words with you just to welcome you into the SOE.
And as Dr. Johnson was saying, my name is Joel Porter. I'm the Assistant Dean here in the School of Education. My area handles specifically more student services type things, so like advising. So forgive me if I don't remember you personally, but I may have advised some of you already, either myself or Ms. Rosnas. So who was with me, I hope it went well. So I hope there's no hard feelings. So we handle advising. You'll get advised by us every semester. You'll actually get an email probably into September, first part of October to sign up for advising and for the spring. Also, we are there to provide any type of services or support you may need. So if you have questions about anything, you can come to us and ask. I've been at Baylor this time 23 years. Ms. Rosnas was born and raised in Waco and has worked here, so we have lots of knowledge about the area, about Waco. So if you need to know where to get your car worked on, I can tell you that. I can give you options. My story I tell is I had a dad call me the first part of February one year, and he said, "Dr. Porter, you said we could call for any reason." And I said, "Absolutely." He goes, "Valentine's is coming up, and my wife said I better get my daughter some flowers. Where's the best flower shop in Waco?" So I said, "Well, I can't advocate one over the other, but I can give you like 3 that I was glad he called because it reminded me I need to get my daughter and my wife some flowers too." So, but we do. You're part of our family, and we want to be supportive. We want to make sure that you're getting your needs met, and that if you have questions or concerns, be it about Baylor classes or where to get your car fixed or where to get the best flowers in town, we can provide that for you as well. So if you've got questions this summer, I know I told you if I advise you, do not hesitate to reach out to me. By far and away, the prime best way to get in touch with me is through email.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and when you hear the word 3, then you clap. So are your hands free? All right, 1, 2, 3. That was horrible. No, there's 3 claps. 1, 2, 3. One more time, because you got to try, and it needs to sound really strong because we are a small but mighty group. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. So anytime you hear me say 3, you clap 3 times. Is that a deal? All right, very good. So a little bit about me. I work here in the School of Education as the Associate Director for Undergraduate Recruitment and the First Year Experience, which means I work with you as prospective students and then throughout your undergraduate years with different programming and leadership opportunities. Very first question, how many of you are on the Student Advisory Council? Yes, what's your name? Miranda, welcome to the council. You actually get to work with me a lot. If you're not on the council, it makes me so sad because I know you read the email. I saw that you opened it. Yes, I track it. But it's okay. You'll have another opportunity to join the council in your next years if you're interested, but you'll learn a little bit more about that later. Well, I'm so happy you're here. We normally do have a bulk. Most of our students are education majors, and most of them want to teach first and second grade or kinder. So, but the great thing about the program is that you're going to get to experience those upper level elementary grades as well, so you'll really get to determine what you want to teach when it's time to go into the field. So, because you've actually seen the video and you've learned a lot about the SOE, I am formatting this in something like a Q&A session. I'm going to share with you common questions I get from students just like you every year, and then at the end of this session, you'll be able to ask me whatever questions you may have. And so, some common questions and things you can do to be successful while you're here. Very first question I always receive is, how big are the classes? So everyone take a look around. This is actually a classroom too, and there's a chance that you might end up in a lecture-like hall with a lot of seats and a lot of students. So you have to really determine where you're going to be most successful. If it was me, I would probably end up in the back, but I still made it. However, but choose where you can focus and you'll be able to learn. But when you take your education classes, you will average about 15 or fewer students in class with you. So you're going to really get an opportunity to create those relationships with your classmates as well as with your faculty as you're matriculating throughout your undergraduate years. So education classes, 15 students or fewer. So how do you transition to become a teacher? The very first thing you all registered for classes and you are in a class called Introduction to Teaching. Is that correct? Shake your head one time, very good. Now, in this class, we're going to teach you strategies for working with students, and then we're going to send you out into the field and you are going to be teaching students in a one-on-one or a small group setting. And in order to do that, you have to learn how to write a really good lesson plan. And that's going to be the first thing to shape your mind into becoming a teacher when you're starting to think about how other people process information and learning, and you're going to take that and actually implement it with students. So that's going to help you as you transition, because I know a lot of times there's a little anxiety when you think about, I was just in high school, now you expect me to teach somebody something else. But we are going to help you with that transition through different programming as well as what you're learning in class. So you actually go to the schools quite often in this program. You will be in schools at least 5 semesters of the 8 semesters you're here at Baylor. Freshman year, sophomore year, you'll have some type of field experience. It could be at like a Boys and Girls Club, an after-school program. But then junior year is when it becomes really intense, because you become a teaching associate and you're in classes the very 4 days a week, working with small groups of students, getting an opportunity to teach whole class instruction, doing observations. Your secondary, it'll look a little bit different. But that's when you're really going to immerse yourself in that classroom environment and the culture of what it means to be a teacher. And then as a senior, I ask everyone this question. Have you ever had a student teacher in your class? Oh, okay. Now, those of you who shook your head, yes, were you nice? Oh, that's a real question, because you know you reap what you sow, and it's just a joke. But as a senior, you will be an intern, and you intern for a full academic year, which means you're there from the end of August till about the end of April, and you're teaching 4 days a week, and you follow the campus schedule. So if it's a 7 to 3 campus, you're there from 7 to 3. If your mentor teacher has duty, you have duty. If they're in professional development, you're in professional development. But you are working and teaching 4 days a week. And then on Fridays, you become a Baylor student again and you're back on campus. But that intern year experience is what is so unique about this program, and is going to give you that step above the other students who will be graduating and looking for those jobs with you. But you will, because you go out into the schools a lot, someone has to coordinate that experience for you. And you will not have to call the schools. Everyone say OPP. OPP. Say it with a little more energy. OPP. OPP. The Office of Professional Practice will become one of your best friends on campus. They are going to coordinate field experiences for you. When it's time for you to get certified, you actually have to work with the OPP staff, so they are going to do everything to help you get into those classrooms, as well as get into your official classroom when it's time for you to graduate. So OPP is something I want you to remember, the Office of Professional Practice. So what do you wear to the schools? Parents, I need you to send your students here with at least a pair of khakis or black pants and some polo shirts. When they go into the school, especially freshman year, we're not asking you to wear a business suit every day. It is very business casual, but we need you to stand out as a student and as a professional. So if you can just wear some polos and some khakis, you'll be good to go working in the field as a freshman student. Any questions about that?
Can you get a bigger pole?
Say, oh, it can be Baylor, it could not be Baylor. It's okay. Yeah, so if you have Baylor, that's great. If you don't, that's still great. If you're on the council, you're going to get one. See, already a perk. But yeah, just some whatever type of polos you have, just keeping it casual, or a nice dress shirt, something like that. So how do you get certified? How many of you know how many tests you have to take in order to become a certified teacher in the state of Texas? How many of you knew you had to take state tests? All right, very good. So you're all going to take at least 2 tests. You're going to take a PPR, Pedagogy and Professional Responsibilities test. You're going to take a content subject area test. And some of you will also be taking I can't think of the name of it, but it's all about teaching reading. You're going to take a reading test too. So it really just depends on your major, will determine how many tests you take. But the good thing about the SOE is 100% of our students pass those tests each year. So not only are you learning and growing in the classroom, but you're also acquiring the skills you need in order to be successful on these state exams, because you have to be certified in order to teach in a public classroom. And so for my students who are out of state, most of them stay in Texas. I'm sorry, parents. But some of them go back home. And so you can work with, everyone say the OPP. Very good. You can work with the Office of Professional Practice, and they will help you determine what you need to do in order to get your Texas certificate transferred to your home state. But we do have a lot of out-of-state students, so we provide that service for you. So, some of you are considering graduate school already. Some of you probably are like, what is that? Well, we do have a joint program for you to get a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, and 2 different certifications in 5 years. So if that is something that you're interested in, you wouldn't have to make that decision until junior year. And if you decide to pursue the MAT program, it's a Master of Arts in Teaching. Parents, you will still pay undergraduate fees for that master's level degree. And a benefit to having a master's degree in education is that when you work in school districts, most of them will offer a stipend. So depending on the school district, you could get anywhere from $1,000 to an extra $3,000 a year on your base salary. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do with that degree and if you want to obtain that extra certification. So how do you succeed in the SOE? Students, right hands up is the hand of truth. Right now, hands up. Say, I will. I don't believe you. Say, I will. Show up. And when I show up, I will engage. Hands down. It is really important. The very first thing for you to be successful is to show up in class, show up in programming, show up for organizations that you join, and then when you get there, you actually have to engage. You have to be involved. You have to ask questions. You have to situate yourself in the conversations that are happening in those spaces. But in order for you to be successful, you have to show up. You have to know what your needs are, and you have to know how to go meet them. And if you don't know how to meet them, then you contact me and I will help you. Does that make sense? I am a support person for you here on campus, and I expect us to collaborate together. I expect you to contact me, parents. If they're not contacting me, I expect you to send me an email or give me a phone call. I'll answer, I'll try to answer. And just let me know. If not, leave me a message. And just let me know, and then I can help your student find the support that they need on campus. But it's really important that you show up. You have to be in class. You have to show up. When we are hosting different things for you throughout the year, they're very intentional. And it's all to help you matriculate and be able to obtain that degree that you want in 4 years. All right, first year experience. Now, there is a coordinator who works under me, and you are going to meet her in August. And every month, she is going to send you a FYE Fast Facts virtual newsletter. Students, right hands again. Repeat after me. Say, I will read my email every day. And if I get, I don't hear you, and if I receive an email from Dr. Johnson, I will open it first. That part was just the funny part. But I really meant that. You took a real oath, and we have it on camera. So really important that you check your email every day. That's how you are going to stay locked into what's happening in the Baylor community in the SOE. Also important is if you're following us on social media. Are y'all following the Baylor SOE on social media? Okay. Are you really?
I don't know.
It's at Baylor SOE. If you're not following us, I really do want you to get logged in. Parents too, because y'all do a really good job of seeing a post and telling them, hey, they're giving away this free thing. Did you go get it? So just make sure you're following us, keeping up with the information that's happening. We are hosting a mix and mingle party for you. I need you to come. Yeah, I need you to come to this mix and mingle party so that you can meet your classmates. You can meet faculty, you can meet staff that you're going to be working with throughout your undergraduate years, but it is a party for you. And even if you have to walk over here by yourself, who do you know? Yeah, very good. I need to give you a prize. You've been so loud today. How many of you live in Impact? Oh, look at you rocking out. Oh, yes. So, too, where do y'all live? In Collins? You don't know yet? You're alternative?
I'm at Penland.
Oh, that's right next door. That's close too. It's okay if you don't live in Impact. I won't hold it against you. But there will be a career pathways panel. We want to teach you how to use your education degree if you decide not to become a teacher. There are marketable skills, transferable skills that you can take into other fields. So we bring in professionals who have an undergraduate degree in education so that they can share with you about their pathway within their career. There will be some social mixers, some service activities, opportunities for you to give back to the community. And then each of you will be paired with an upperclassman peer mentor. And so this person will be who you can contact for questions, concerns. Y'all will have lunch. They will contact you in August and ask for your cell phone number so that they can text you and y'all can set up a time to meet. So just be really intentional about working with your peer mentor. And checking your what?
Email.
Who said that? One more time, what are you going to check? Email. I don't know if I believe you. Do we need to retake the oath? Right hands up. I will check my email every day. And if, I'm just playing, you don't have to say that second part. But there will be a peer coach program, and you're going to learn about all of this first via email, and then you're going to branch out and actually start meeting face to face. So, are there any questions I can answer about anything you've heard so far?
When you say going into the field, like they start school in August. How soon are they in the field?
About the end of September.
Okay.
So your first in your introduction to teaching class, you'll go into those classrooms for about 6 to 8 weeks. You start about the end of September, beginning of October, and we're going to host a panel of upperclassmen students for you to come in and share with you some strategies to be successful in the field. So we partnered with the instructors of that first year experience class to make sure that we have that event like a week prior to you going in. Does that make sense? And if you attend, anytime you attend any of our events, we try to give you some SOE swag. So we have our little Teach Bears that are going out this year. Hope you like baseball caps because we have the cutest caps, like a camo one and then like a tan one. So, but you only get them when you come to events. Right hands up. I will come to SOE programming this year. All right, very good. Because I do want y'all to get your swag as well as the information. Y'all took 2 oaths. That's more than all the other students who've been here. Yes.
Last question. When they are going into the schools, is there, because he's not going to have a car,
Oh, that's a good question.
how are they going to get to the
You have
schools?
to walk. I'm just playing.
It's Dallas.
No, so all the schools are within 15 minutes of Baylor University, and we actually carpool to get the students there. So there are students who have matriculated here for 4 years as undergraduates and have never had a car and finished our program successfully. So faculty are going to the schools, your other classmates are going to the schools, and we are going to carpool and get you there. Okay, good question. I can't believe I didn't have that on the chart. I need to add it, I forgot it. Other questions I can answer? Yeah.
Does the SOE have any specific recommendations on computer equipment?
Oh, no, just whatever you like. If you like a Mac, bring a Mac. If you like HP, any other, just whatever you want. But it is helpful to have some type of computer, so hopefully you can bring a laptop or something, but try to have something, but it doesn't matter what it is. Yes, ma'am.
Does this major lend itself to the study abroad?
Yes, it does. So you have some options. As a sophomore student, you take a course called Social Issues and Education. And so this is our only fully funded trip. And if you're elected to get into a special section of this course, you take a spring break trip to Mexico. You get to work with students, you get to explore the country and the culture and things like that. Senior year, as an intern, we take groups of students to Australia as well as to London. So you will actually get to teach students in either of those places, and you'll get an opportunity to, again, to immerse yourself in the culture there, and that's as a senior intern year. So Australia or London. And then if you're looking for a service opportunity, we have a trip to Costa Rica where you can participate in mission work and as well as service. And then we also have a trip to Kenya where you can do service work, Ghana, service work, mission work. But all of our trips, you get an opportunity to work with students over in those countries. So it's still an education-based trip.
How do you recommend pursuing that?
Which one, any of them?
Or, I mean, just starting the process. Is that something that needs to be dropped when you meet with your advisor that you're looking, or, you know, at the end of your year, your freshman year?
Okay, so I'll tell you what we do. We host a study abroad fair for education majors, and we bring in all of our representatives who host those trips. So that'll be the first thing. Come to the study abroad fair, get more information, and find out which trips you're really interested in. Because if you don't get into the Mexico social issues trip, you actually have to pay for the other trips yourself. You wouldn't have to make a decision about those trips until they're coming, like Australia, London, that's not until senior year, so you would just have to plan in advance. And when the email goes out about signing up for that trip, then you need to show up to that meeting so that you can know everything you need to do in order to take that trip that November. Does that make sense? But emails go out when those trips are approaching from the sponsors, and then they have to come to those meetings and get the information. But you have time. Other questions?
Does Baylor require like community service from their students? My oldest one goes to Grand Canyon University, and he has to do a set number for his. I think it's because of his the scholarship he has.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys require certain numbers of that?
Yeah, actually, there are certain scholarships where students would have to do service. So it really just depends. Yeah, not necessarily in the SOE specifically, but there are scholarships that some students are on where they will have to participate in service in order to keep those funds. And if that happens to you, I do sponsor students in the SOE who need a sponsor for that, so just let me know. Other questions? Y'all have really good questions. Yeah.
So if we're still kind of deciding what age range, like elementary versus middle or secondary, are there opportunities to be in different classrooms?
Yes, there are opportunities. Kind of depends on your certificate level. Elementary is grades EC through 6. Middle grades is 4 through 8, and secondary is 7 through 12. So depending on your certificate levels, we get you in the lower grades as well as the upper grades. Other questions?
What's your favorite thing about the SOE?
My favorite thing about the SOE is I like the students, actually. Before I came here, I worked in, did I tell you I used to be a teacher? No? Yes, maybe? Oh, I didn't. So I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade language arts, but not in that order for 4 years. And then I moved up and I was a coach for teachers and helped them become the best teachers ever, and I did that for 6 years. And then after that, I moved into administration and I worked in talent acquisition for a school district and recruited teachers and administrators to that district. And that was the position I was in right before I came here a couple of years ago. So, and when I came here, I didn't know what the dynamic would be like working with those students because I had taught college level students before, but you know, it's different when you come in full time and just do you get an opportunity to really build those relationships and how often do you see them? And I've just learned like the SOE student is very unique. Like my very first meeting with a group of students, I'll never forget this. I was about to share with them some really important dates that I wanted them to keep. And we were sitting at a little round table and every single one of them pulled out a little teacher planner. And I was just amazed. I'm like, I can't believe y'all have teacher planners and y'all like freshmen and sophomores. This is tripping me out. But just being able to interact with students and talk with you about your experiences, I like that aspect because, you know, I'm a teacher at heart. So just being able to help students as they're going is the best part for me. Just being that resource. I'm happy that I still get the opportunity to impact people the way I want to, that kind of works with who I am. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's the best part, the students. But figure out, and I brought that up because I also need to say, figure out how you best organize yourself because that'll be another thing to help you be successful. Like I'm a phone person, I put everything in my phone, on my phone calendar. But some people like their paper pencil, but with whoever you are, just make sure you have it and that you utilize it to the fullest of your capabilities. Other questions?
If he's doing secondary in mathematics, when he goes into the classroom, what would he be like as a freshman? Where will he be?
Either a middle school or a high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know yet, but one of those because his certificate area is grades 7 through 12, and 7th and 8th is a middle school. But he'll get an opportunity to see both, like middle and high. And we do need more middle school math teachers, so don't count them out. 8th grade was my favorite grade to teach. They're pretty cool people. What? You must have been a horrible, I'm just playing. It's just a joke. It's a joke. I'm doing kind of funny. But no, middle school, we actually need, and so let me just get on my soapbox and then I'll jump right back out. We actually need more middle level students who want to pursue education for middle grades, just because we're losing middle grades teachers. Our program here is actually really small, so we're trying to find more students interested in teaching 4 through 8. So if that's something you think you might have a heart for, just, you know, talk to me later or sometime during the year and we can talk a little bit more about what it looks like to be a middle grades teacher. It's not that bad. It sounds scary, especially 7th grade. I mean, they're a little quirky. But once you get in there, you immerse yourself with them, you start to blend. But if you get in 8th grade, you'll love it. And in 6th grade, especially my elementary majors, when I taught 6th grade, I was like, oh my gosh, these are the sweetest little kids I've ever met. So they're still you'll still get that opportunity to be with someone just, full of that heart and spirit for learning. So just don't count out middle school. Other questions?
Do they need to be fingerprinted or anything to go out into are they going to the public school at Waco ISD?
Yeah, so we partner with Waco ISD and Midway ISD, and I've actually never had that question because we do have to be fingerprinted as educators. I think before your, maybe before your intern or TA year, I have to ask. Let me ask the OPP because that's a good question, and I'll get back to you. Because when you get certified, you will have to be fingerprinted. So that's a good question. Anyone else? And all my future teachers, you just learn the power of the wait time. Because when you give people time to think, they actually might pop in with a question. So that's why you never rush from when you're teaching. You have to chunk that time. You have to ensure when you ask a question, you give your students time to process and think, because that's when you'll start to see those hands pop up, or they'll write a little question on their little sheet of paper and put it in the little, you'll learn those strategies. But yeah, the power of wait time.